What can 160 years of experience teach you about the future? When it comes to protecting what matters, Pacific Life provides life insurance, retirement income, and employee benefits for people and businesses building a more confident tomorrow. Strategies rooted in strength and backed by experience. Ask a financial professional how Pacific Life can help you today. Pacific Life Insurance Company, Omaha, Nebraska, and in New York. Pacific Life and Annuity, Phoenix, Arizona.
Run, don't walk. Olive & June is having the biggest and only sale of the year. I'm Sarah Gibson-Tuttle, founder of Olive & June, and I have to say, one of my favorite things to do is gift. And gifting Olive & June is the perfect way to share the joy of a salon-quality manicure at home with friends and family. With our systems, tools, and high-quality products, there's no need for the pricey salon visits. And during our sale from November 13th to December 1st, you can get 25% off every product plus surprise gifts. So whether you're stocking up for yourself or giving the gift of beautiful nails, now is the time. Get 25% off every product from November 13th to December 1st. Perfect for gifts, for stocking up, for treating yourself. Visit oliveandjune.com/shop25 for 25% off. That's oliveandjune.com/shop25 for 25% off everything.
At Arizona State University, we're bringing world-class education from our globally acclaimed faculty to you. Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Learn more at asuonline.asu.edu.
Okay. SEO 101. That's Search Engine Optimization 101 or Search Everywhere Optimization 101 plus Podcast 101 plus Pinterest 101 equals... It's really up to you to decide how that drum's going to roll. I'm a drummer, and I'm also excited to be here with you today. Welcome, Robin, Callie, everybody coming in. Thank you for joining this room today. I'm excited about this topic because I want to really go quickly. Hey, Dorel. Dorel, thank you for being here. Milad, thanks for being here as well. I'm going to have a very quick room today because I don't want to overwhelm you. This is a one-on-one room. So the last thing I want to do is add more ones and zeros and more binary code. I just want to make sure that this is understood. It's clear. It's logical. It makes sense. It's action friendly. And it's also search based. So if you have any questions about today's topic, please put in the chat, raise your hand, ask me a question. We're going to have a great discussion today because I talk about this consistently. And if you're hearing me for the first time, my name is Favour Obasi. I'm based in Houston, Texas, and I run a business called Work and Play Entertainment with a vertical of We Don't Play podcasts, which we have over 600 episodes and streaming across 155 countries. And I'm excited to be here with you today because this is something that I've been doing even on Clubhouse. Actually, today is what? November 21st. Oh my goodness. It's going to be 5 years on Monday that I've been on Clubhouse. November 24th, 2020. That's when I first joined Clubhouse. And on Monday, it's going to be 5 years. I just realized that. This is like a light bulb. You know when you have that light bulb moment? Welcome, Jew. Yes, this is definitely it. So I will do a special for sure. Ain't no way I'm going to miss that. So I'm excited that I've been talking on Clubhouse for about 5 years, connecting with you. Thank you, Ladarel, for being here. Appreciate you, man. And connect with a lot of people. This is a marketing club, and I'm one of the leaders. I'm not the founder. I'm one of the leaders here in over 352,000 members. And we've been doing this consistently, connecting with amazing people all over the world. So whenever I connect here with you, you never know. Like, I think it was yesterday we were here talking about the new Google Search Console brand and non-brandy. I'll say it again. Brand and non-brand queries. Right? And you're also thinking about the annotations. Now, these annotations and these brand queries, or call them prompts, or however you want to put them, is very interesting in a way that can actually give you feedback long term. Why am I saying this? Because when you have brands and you have non-brands, Just like I said, brandy, for example. Let me just use that slip, for example, because I was trying to say brand. Now, if you look at the word brandy can mean so many things. It can mean Brandy, the artist, Welcome Ion. It could mean Brandy, the liquor. It could mean Brandy, the name of a pet store. It could mean Brandy, the name of a tennis shoe. It could mean a trademark for something specific. It could be a spice, food spice. Welcome to this. It could be a cologne. It could be whatever. So the word should not be semantically placed and stuck to one connotation or one convention or one definition. So most people look at it that way, and I'm like, nah, that's why I love SEO, because the semantic World Wide Web is what we use consistently, and there's a lot of things that happen in between. So that's why I'm bringing these three together: the SEO 101, the podcast 101, and the Pinterest 101. Now, I'll tell you what Google AI Mode said, because I actually put this on Google, and I said, let me see what I get back. And I got something very interesting. AI overview. Out of this topic that you're reading right now, SEO 101 plus podcast 101 plus Pinterest 101 equals, this is what AI Overview said. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. Equals a comprehensive approach to digital marketing that uses podcasts to learn SEO, very specific, to learn SEO and apply those principles to optimize content for Pinterest. Right? It's about building expertise in search engine optimization, which is SEO, through podcasts, which is true, which can then be used to drive traffic and improve visibility on platforms like Pinterest, which also functions as a search engine. That's the most fundamental part of this definition of the overview or the summary that AI Overview gave. The room topic. So I'm excited that we're going to talk about this. Welcome, Unique. Good evening. When you see these specific keywords that were mentioned in between this response from the summary that I got on the AI overview, one major thing that I noticed is that if you have a podcast, and this is something that I want to start off with, I'll treat this like a sandwich. So I'll start off with what's in the middle. The SEO and the Pinterest are like the buns, and then the meat is the podcast. Let's just do that real quick. So if you look at the podcast, right, the podcast is what you're cooking, right? It's what you're talking about. It's what you're consistently making sense of. It's what you're defining. It's what you're using as a vocal chain of reaction for feedback loops. It's a place where you're connecting with people so that they can connect back with you, so you can know, like, and trust them and build that relationship over time. Because when you listen to someone's voice over a period of time, there's a trust score. That's why even with podcasting, there's something called a listen score. Right? If you go to listen notes with the 2ns.com, you can see the listen score for different podcasts, right? For other platforms, they can call it a power score. So these scores tell the person that is either invested in your podcast or curious about your podcast or valuing what you say about your podcast based on, welcome Triple Grace 5, thank you for being here. And 5 is a number of grace as well. Welcome, Kemi. When you look at these things, right, your podcast now becomes the cornerstone, the anchor for your message. So whatever you discuss on your podcast is what people are going to receive. So in this case, when you look at an SEO 101 plus podcast 101 plus Pinterest 101, what am I talking about? That 101 in the podcast, right? Let's just mix this up real quick. The 101 in the podcast is the keywords. So I'll give you an example, and I'm going to be very basic with this example. So please follow me. And if I go too fast, please let me know. Welcome, Omoy. Thanks for being here. This is a very simple example. We have 52 weeks in a year. Hi, Unique. I can see you in the chat. Thanks for being here. Welcome, Wesley. There are 52 weeks in a year. That's the standard. Okay. So let's break this down. We have 52 weeks in a year. If you can achieve between one, and this is very possible, If you can achieve between one, I'm even going to lower the bar. If you can reach between 1 to 20%, that's out of 100%, you're only dedicating at least 20%, at least to begin with, because if I say at most, then you don't want to stop at 20%. You want to keep going. But within the first year, that 20% could be reached, between 1% to 20%. What do I mean? If you have 52 weeks in a year, right? Let's do the math together. And within these 52 weeks in a year, right? You want to achieve at least 20%. This technically means, right, that if you're thinking about creating an experience for a community, then what you're technically doing, right, and this is going to be something that's going to be very specific. What you're technically doing is that you're spending, right? You're spending at least 75 episodes in a year. So how did I get to that 20%, right? If you have 75, and you can choose any number, this is just a calculator for you, right? And this is something that I'm giving to you. It's not like I'm looking anywhere. This is me talking and giving you like unscripted information. And try this out, because I did it for myself, and I'll tell you my numbers for this year, just based on percentages of how much I was able to do this year. Thank God for that. If you do 75 episodes in a span of 365 days, so that's what? 75 divided by 365. What's that? Multiply that by 100. What do you get? You get 20.54%. That is 75 episodes. So technically what you're saying is that 75 episodes, and this is like, think about, let's even go deeper in the math. Let's just do this, because I want you to understand. It's basic math, it's basic calculation, but it should make sense. It shouldn't be basic where it shouldn't be essential. It should be basic and structural. That's the formula of basic. 101 is a basic formula. So if you're looking at the basic asset, which is your time, which is infinite, right? We can't measure time, right? Because we value time that we know. So if you have 24 hours in a day, times 365, that's 8,760 hours. And let's say you just wanted to do, that's what, 75 hours, right? So 75 divided by 8,760 by 100 is about close to 0.8 hours, right? So if you're looking at this number and you're thinking about, okay, how much time is this going to be for me, right? You can also understand and say, okay, I'm going to say that if I'm going to do this amount of time and multiply that times 60 or divide it by 60 or however you want to get to your formula, because this is something I just want you to just take a quick picture at. If you look at it that way and you know that you have so much time that the 75 hours out of the 8,760 that you've had, right, times 100 is 0.85%. That is less than 1% of your time in a year that you've spent on a podcast that has a lifespan of anywhere from 24 hours to 24 months. Now, we talked about the sandwich, right? So podcasting is in the middle, right? You're heating up your meat, either you're grilling it, you're frying it, you're roasting it, you're marinating it, whatever you're doing, you're spicing it up, you're seeing it, whatever you want to do, it's really up to you because that's how you like your food. That's how you like to cook it, right? So on the left side is SEO 101. So what's that? Search engine optimization. What's that? Search intent. What's that? Pre-purchase, post-purchase. What is that? Intentional connections with people. What is that? Typing. That's the basic formula. Welcome, Adina and Kat. It's typing. So what are people typing and what are they thinking before they type? Because if you're going to search for something on the internet, you must have thought about it first before you typed it. The same way you think before you speak is the same way you think before you type. So if somebody is typing something and you know exactly what they need and you have the solution for the problem that they are looking to solve, SEO 101 is where search intent comes in. And on the right side is Pinterest, right? Because there's something called a predictive text bar. And Google has the same thing too. If you type it on Google right now, you type in SEO for, it's going to give you different options that are in bold. If you look at that on Pinterest, it gives you the same thing. Now on Google, you get different results. On Pinterest, you get different results. On Bing, you get different results. On ChatGPT, you get different results. Now, if you look at all those results and you realize that there's something that's consistent amongst them all, you'll figure out what that is because it won't be hard to tell or even pick out. Because when you look at the keywords that you wrote down on your keyboard, that you typed into the search box, the results that you see are the results you're going to technically and potentially click on or click through. So if that means that you're going to click through this one keyword that you were looking for, eco-friendly soap, you're looking for sustainable ways to make money, you're looking for best flights for Thanksgiving, you're looking for best restaurants to eat for a date night, you're searching for these things and you're going to get results based on location, based on interest, based on keywords. Location, interest, keywords. So if you on the receiving end know exactly what you're going to be getting, now you, the person who is on the other side, because we talk about producers and consumers, right? There's a producer, there's a consumer. Whether it's for music, there's a producer, there's a consumer. Whether it is for movies, same thing applies. Whether it's for a product, a service, same application. So if you use that formula and use that analogy and then still bring it back to the basics, which is what we're talking about tonight, and use that and say, okay, what do I want people to know me for? And what do I want to keep consistently showing up as? And how do I want people to know that what I talk about is consistent? It's in the frequency and the quality of your delivery. And the best way to do this is on a podcast, because on a podcast, you have about 6 slots compared to other platforms where you don't really have as much slots. And which are these slots? You have a title, that's your podcast title. You have the description, which is a podcast description. You have the author section. I think there are 5 or 6. You have the author section, that's the 3rd section. You have the podcast description, or the episode description specifically. And then you have, actually it's 6. And then you have the episode, let me say it this way. You have the episode title, you have the episode description. That's 2. You have the podcast title, you have the podcast description. That's 2. Now that's total of 4. You have the author, that's 5. Now I mentioned 6 because when you have a podcast, I'll even call it 7 actually, because every podcast show has a podcast cover. That's the truth. Every podcast show has a podcast cover. So if you have an episode and your episode is different from the podcast show name, then you have a new slot machine to create an algorithm that's going to boost your traffic. In other words, you can say the same word SEO across your title through your podcast description, but it has to contextually make sense and it has to be consistent enough for somebody to pick it up in the algorithm. Because the algorithm picks it up based on frequency, clicks, and sessions, right? Sessions means that if I go to your website and I click on it, I'm going to be on your website for 2 minutes. Somebody's going to come for 25 seconds. Somebody else is going to come for, something else. So you're going to keep on having these things consistently to the point where you actually want to create a zone of genius for yourself. So when you're thinking about creating content, your content is supposed to really build momentum as a business when you're thinking about the goals and the settings that you want to intentionally create. So as a business, think about your podcast as your message in a bottle. Think about it as your radio. Think about it as your teleprompter. Think about it as something that you can predict because you know what you can read and you can type on it. You can actually create the manuscript actually, right? Because you know exactly what you want to convey. So when you create that consistency across all those 5 slots or even 7 slots, because you have your podcast cover art, you have your episode cover art, you have your episode title, you have your episode description, you have your podcast title, you have your podcast description, and then you have the author. You have all these options to put in anything because they have about 40 to 60 characters. Some of them may be more. Your description could be up to 4,000 characters with spaces. So all that is intel because when you start submitting your podcast to Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, name them. The list is endless. Pandora, iHeart. There are just many out there, right? Once you start publishing and producing and distributing it, that's really where the really competitive, I would say healthy competition starts, because now you're really in the market. Because if your show is not showing up at a store, or if you're trying to go to a market, let's say you want to go to Walmart, or you want to go to Whole Foods, or you want to go to Kroger, Publix, you want to go to a store, Target, you want to get something and you don't find what you're looking for where you're going to go to another place to find the same thing you were looking for that you couldn't get at the place you just left. So that means distribution is key to positioning, which positioning gives you an equality to sales or to brand awareness or to attribution. So if you're creating your content on a podcast and your podcast is distributed to all these platforms that are also SEO intentional, right? For example, you know that Apple Podcast is iTunes, right? So if it's iTunes, then it means that if you're typing for something, back in the day, remember iTunes, you'd be typing on the iTunes store, looking for your favorite artist or your favorite song or your favorite genre. If you type in rock, you want to listen to rock music, and then you type in ROCJ instead of K, you're not going to get rock music on your search results because you missed a letter or you made a typo. So and typo is typography, right? So when you switch that back to what it's originally been encoded for, encrypted for, and then you put in the word rock, or you put in Afrobeat, or you put in gospel, or you put in country, whatever type of sound or genre you're looking for, artists, you're going to get those same results. So right now, as a podcast, if you're looking for a topic and you're typing on Apple Podcasts or Spotify Podcasts or even YouTube Podcasts or Amazon Podcasts, and you're looking for a specific topic, you're going to type that topic, and the results that you'll get and click on and listen to and download and come back to will be highly dependent on those blocks that I mentioned. Because if they can see it visually, they love the image, they're drawn to the title, the keyword is matching their actual search intent, you're answering questions that they're frequently asking, you're showing up on time, you're relevant, and you're in sync, it's now the ball is in their court. That's where things change. But it's really up to you because it's consistency. It's not because, you're just going to do one episode and that's it. So if you do 75 episodes, like I mentioned, this is just a challenge to you. You don't have to do it. But if you listen to this and you do it and you see it work for you, please let me know, because I've been doing podcasts and I'm close to 600 episodes, probably tipping over that, and recorded close to over 200 episodes. So in my mind, I'm like, there's a lot of content that can go out there and a lot of information can be given. But at the same time, it's that same information that needs to be received that somebody has to apply. Because right now you're listening to this And I'm 100% sure, and you know this, do your research, check this out too, because please, I love you to do your research just like I love doing research too. When you learn something new for the first time, especially when you're listening to it from an auditory perspective, right? You're listening to something for the first time through audio. You're only acquiring 5% of that information that you're receiving. 5%. Think about that. So if you were to teach me what I'm telling you or teaching you or helping you or saying to you, however you want to put it, because I just want to communicate. If in your own response, you're giving me the same thing I'm giving you and vice versa, then it means that you know your stuff, you know what you're talking about, and you're able to teach it to somebody else, which means you've acquired 90% of learning acquisition. So think about the gap between a 5% first time listening to this and the first time somebody asks you a question about the same topic. But because I have 90% acquisition, I can teach it back to you or explain it to you in a very simple way, even as complex as it could sound, it would still make sense because it's demystified. So if you think about where we're going right now with podcasting, with SEO, with Pinterest, with TikTok, with all these amazing platforms that we have to also think about our websites and our email marketing platforms too. Please don't ignore these things, please, because sometimes we do. Welcome, Angie. Thanks for being here. Picky, thanks for being here. And Anna too. These are the very things that we need to know, because once we start understanding our baseline, which is creating an intentional map for someone to find a way through to accessing your content, you're able to really understand this. And SEO is beautiful. Why is SEO beautiful? Because every year, people search for the same thing. Guess what? Right now, we're in the mood of Thanksgiving, right? We should be in the mood of Thanksgiving every day because it's a blessing to see a new day every day, right? Next week is Thanksgiving week. And everybody is having a great time, right? That's the mood. Very soon is going to be Christmas. My birthday is next month too. The next thing you know is New Year's. Before you know it, it's Valentine's. Before you know it, boom, it's Easter. And then it keeps going again and again and again and again and again and again and again. Now you, a business owner that has been doing this for 52 weeks in cycles, should at least be able to know, okay, if this happened last year and I missed this opportunity, what did I do wrong or what did I not do so that I can do better, so I can know what to do better this time? That's really dependent on how you're able to structure it, right? Hi, Picky, I see you as well in the chat. Thanks for being here. When you see these things happen consistently, then your question should be, what can I do right now that's going to help people see these things? Like for me, naturally, I don't do a lot of sale here, sale there, this and that. It's great. I love it because we do that for our clients and we make sure that it's done well. For me, in my head, I'm like, what am I going to give that is of value? And I've been thinking about it very deeply, and I'm finally coming to something that I'm going to be doing consistently when it comes to these type of times of the year, because I realize there's so much information that you're listening to me. As I mentioned, it's 5%, but if you've been listening to what I've been saying over time and you've been acquiring that over and over and over and over again, let's say you've been spending 5 hours a week, that means you spend at least an hour a day listening to something new, not just me, but anything that you are interested in, because you have amazing interests, you're geniuses at what you do, and you want to learn further because this is not the only thing that you do. So when you learn these things and you take that intentionality to say, okay, I'm going to use this and apply it for the next thing, then your next question should be, how am I going to use this next thing to get better at it so that I can refine my skill? I've always talked about this before. You have 3 types of sets that you have to do in business. 3 sets. When you go to the gym, you do 3 sets. The first one is your mindset. The second one is your skill set. The third one is your tool set. If you are able to sharpen your tools, sharpen your skills, and sharpen your mind by reading books, listening to episodes, actually kinesthetically doing things that are going to help your business grow, move the needle, at least see a better day, have a better look onto something, have an uptick in traffic, have something that's tangible enough for you to see a signal to say, aha, this could work. Okay, how can I do this better or double down so I can scale up? So when you start creating content like I do, like you do, like we do, then we can really think about where we're going with our content. Because if you have a podcast, let's say you do this podcast, you let it go, it's done. You don't have to talk about this topic again. Because if the next person comes next year for Black Friday week or comes next Christmas, God willing, and says, hey, how can I market my business? I'll say, I talked about this last year. The information is the same. The strategy may be different, but the foundation is for sure the same. So once you're able to get those basics, you're able to now know, okay, if this is how I did it last time, welcome Adam, then this is what I got to do next time. So it's really dependent on how you build it. Pinterest is great because Pinterest is a place where you can host your data. Let me say it this way. You know, like how you can put your stuff in a storage or in a pantry? This is like the most basic example I can give for Pinterest. Think about your closet, your walk-in closet. Think about your garage. Think about your backyard. Think about your space, right? And you're putting things there that you value, things that are very sentimental to you, right? You're putting those things there because that's where you're always going to come back to if you ever need them, whether it's your clothes, whether it's your accessories, whether it's your cars, whatever it is that you love, right? It is yours because you earned it, right? Now, because you have earned this thing, you're going to treat it differently because you pay attention to what you pay for, right? So in that essence, the next thing that you're thinking about is, oh, okay, if this happened, then I got to make this happen because of this way. Now in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, how can I make this happen consistently? The best way that this can happen consistently is if, as a business, I'm creating content and this content is allowing me to have structure, right? Because on Pinterest, what is happening is you're building structure around your business. That's why there's something called Pinterest Personal and there's Pinterest Business, right? So within Pinterest Business, you have boards, and within these boards, you have collections, right? Just like you can go to your cupboard, you can go to your closet, you have all these collections. Now, if you think about your garage, if you think about your storage, think about Pinterest like that, because Pinterest has a lifespan of 5 months. Now, imagine if you had 2 stores. This is like a case study, very hypothetically said, but I hope this helps too. Think about your store, right? You have a store and your store is, how do I say this? Your store lasts, like if you put anything in that store, it expires either after 5 hours. And then if you have option B is if you put same price, guys, same price. This is same price. If storage A gave you 5 hours for it to, and it will expire. Let's not even do 5 hours. Let's extend it. Let's actually be real. 72 hours, right? Gives you 72 hours to put your stuff in here. Same price. And then you have the next option, storage, which gives you 5 months. Which storage are you going to put your stuff in before it expires or before you have to renew? Between the two. If you think about it, right? You definitely want to have it in the place that has more time, right? Because time is the value. The money is not the value at that point. The money doesn't matter because the money is the same. But what really matters is the time. So if this time has a longer lifespan, then it means that my content can have a longer, I can call it breathing space, action time, call to action time. I can call it play time, reading time, active time, whatever time you want to call it. It's there. It's evergreen. That's a good thing. So if you do that for your content on Pinterest, that's what you'll be creating, because Pinterest has a lifespan of 5 months. So let's say you have a podcast you've done that's 5 minutes long. 5 minutes podcast episode that turns into a 5-month timeline. In other words, if I'm talking about a topic today, 5 months from now, somebody's looking for that same topic, they can email me and say, hey, I listened to your episode because it's happened to me. You can listen to other podcasters and their amazing stories and how people connect with them. Send them an email and say, hey, I listened to your podcast, or I connected with you on LinkedIn and I love what you talked about. Hey, can we do business, or can we partner up, or can we meet, or can we talk? Can we do something?
Shopify's point of sale system helps you sell at every stage of your business. Need a fast and secure way to take payments in person? We've got you covered. How about card readers you can rely on anywhere you sell?
Thanks. Have a good one.
Yep, that too. Want one place to manage all your online and in-person sales? That's kind of our thing. Wherever you sell, businesses that grow with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 a month trial at shopify.com/listen. Shopify.com/listen.
Something, can we, just have a conversation? Can we have coffee? Whatever it is, it can happen in a blink of an eye, and then boom, it happens. And thank you, Darrell says as well, 5 months. Yes, it is 5 months, because when you do 5 months just over 72 hours, right? 72 hours and 5 months have a completely different span, because in 5 months, you can acquire more. Think about it like a bucket of information. If I have a website that has been active for 5 months and your website has been active for 72 hours, I have more data than you, because I'm able to know more about what my people are coming back and forth for, because I'm able to read between the lines. So what I'm trying to say here is, if you have a Pinterest account, use your Pinterest account as a business, and you can click the link above so you can get more information about this, because I'm going to be doing this all together. So you can have SEO, podcast, and Pinterest in one. And then you decide which one you want to focus on, but you might need all three, because as a business, you're going to need to have marketing and advertising and definitely branding. So imagine your branding from your podcast, audio-wise, not even video. If you do video, great. Audio-wise, like I do, and other people do that too. So don't think about budgets and cameras and equipment. Those things come later. What you need to first earn, before you earn dollars, you have to earn trust. Because that trust that you build is what's going to bypass. You know how people say, relationships are more valuable than money, or rather, you can even say relationships are priceless compared to money. Even though we know money, even in the Bible, it says, money answereth all things. But those things are material, because we live in a world that we need to have those things to operate, right? Because it's a system. So when you think about the operating system of your body, you know about that, the operating system of a phone, an app, the iOS, the operating system of your business. These are operating, meaning that it's consistent, it's concurrent, right? It's evergreen. So if you turn the lights on the same way for your business, and you use that same concept and say, okay, I'm gonna use this because Pinterest is a longer lifespan platform, because I can earn 100% credit of my content, because I've claimed my website, I've connected my Instagram, I'm gaining all that traffic from my Google account, and I'm also earning more information because I'm giving more detail to other third-party sources like Google. Because if Pinterest trusts Google and Google trusts Pinterest, your consumer will trust you. Why? Because Google trusted you first before they trusted you. If you're not on Google, they're not going to find you or find you valuable or find you credible, even though you are, but it's not showing on paper. It's not showing on a digital screen that they can read and actually verify themselves, because everyone's going to have to make their own informed decision. So you can't be making people's decisions for them. They have to make their own informed decision about you based on how you perceive yourself to them. So when you create a podcast, it creates that bridge of trust, because now you can listen to me, you can call me out, you can say whatever you want, you can do this, you can do that, because of what you hear. If it is there. If it is not, then you'll be having the exact opposite feeling, because now you'll be like, oh, wow, this is so interesting. I didn't hear this before. This is new to me. Wow. Okay. Let me listen to it a little bit more. I may not know everything, but at least I know something new, because I also learn something new every day. The more I know things, the more I don't know things. So I'm always consistently searching. I can never say I know everything, because I don't. Only God does. So when I create content and create experiences and tell people how to use these platforms, I'm not telling you what to do or buy this tool, download this project, do this, do that. It's a lot of work. I'm just telling you the basics. Focus on giving people value, going to Google search. There's even an advanced mode of Google. You can go to google.com/advanced, or just go to Google and type in google.com advanced tools, whatever it is you want to call it, and search for specific things that you want to see on the web. And then you can now go there and say, if this person is here, how did they get here? It's organic. If I plant a seed in the ground and I water it and I nurture it, it's going to grow. We're going to have a tree, and that tree is going to have fruits. It's the same thing with your content. If you keep posting on Instagram every day, posting on LinkedIn every day, TikTok every day, Instagram every day, Pinterest every day, and you look back, you're like, okay, how much effort did I put in hours that you can't get back? One, how much time have I invested in the people who are actually listening to me? And how much in connection have I made to build that attribution back into the fold, to create a feedback loop? So these are the things that you have to think about doing consistently. And it's coming up with the topics that make sense. You're in this room listening because you want to learn about these specific topics. If this topic was completely different, there's no way you'd be in this room, because these keywords did not resonate with you because it wasn't there. Now, in other words, because these words are already in the title, there are words that you read and there are words that you resonate with. If there were other words that were there that were not these words, we would not have this type of conversation, because it would be a completely different room, and that would be a waste, quote unquote, of your time, because you don't want to listen to something that is not going to benefit you, because your time is valuable. So when you think about the time you're investing in people, and also consider the time people are investing in you, there has to be a balance. You know how it says, the Bible says to give and you shall receive. It's not just giving money, it's giving time, it's giving energy, it's giving information, it's giving resource. So when you think about your time and you're building this time in the essence of, I would say, longevity, right? Welcome Big 400. Longevity, right? Now, this longevity you have in time has been expanded, compounded by really simple syndication. In other words, RSS. In other words, podcast. In other words, your voice. So if you just think about that, thank you, Unique. You're absolutely 100% correct. Yeah, it's a real thing. If you're able to really say, okay, I'm going to spend this amount of time and do this, someone somewhere is going to listen to it. Someone sent me a message on LinkedIn about an episode I dropped last month, and they sent me a message yesterday about a topic that was discussed from an interview that I did with somebody that was on the show. I don't know this person, but now we've made a connection, and they're in a completely different country than I am. So you just never know who's listening. You just never know who's around. That's why it's really good to just be authentic, be yourself, and keep showing up for you. That way, the person who sees you one day will remember the version of you that they saw and the version of you that they remembered. Not that we're going to be the same people every time, but there's a foundation that sets the tone. So if you want to keep or have a lasting impression online, it means that your impressions have to grow over time. And that time is involved in page sessions, in connections, in building all these things. So SEO is very important. So when you think about SEO 101, think about building connections with people by finding things that are searchable. Go to answerthepublic.com. Shout out to Neil Patel. Go to answersocrates.com. Go to alsoasked.com. Go to Pinterest Trends. Go to Google Trends. Go to meetglimpse.com. Go to sparktoro.com. I'm giving you information that this is free. You can check it out yourself if you want to. At the end of the day, I don't want you to be overwhelmed with information to a point where you have information overload and then you're not doing anything with that information. That's the last thing we want or need or ask for. So if you're building a business from scratch and you're asking yourself, okay, I've heard everything you said, what's next? Because we're about to wrap this up. If you have any question, put it in the chat or raise your hand and I'd love to hear from you. And welcome Anon too. When you have SEO, when you have a podcast, when you have Pinterest, right? This would be your burger, your sandwich, your Oreo, whatever you want to call it. When the top and the bottom are working together, welcome Shari and Tina, thank you for being here. When you have your SEO working and you have your Pinterest working, appreciate the 100, thank you Shari. When you have Pinterest working as a predictive element, or I can say it this way, using Pinterest as a search board so that your search board can become the reflection of what you want to see. Because if you have a website as a business, because this is business talk, if you have a business, then your business would have a website, potentially. So if you have a website, your website is connected to a hosting platform, right? Whether it's GoDaddy, Bluehost, SiteGround, Hostinger, Namecheap, whatever it is, it's connected to a hosting platform. And then you have your CMS, your content management system, right? Which is your Welcome Seti, which is your Wix, WordPress, Squarespace, Shopify, whatever you want to call it. They're there, Duda, Tilda. You have all these platforms, right? Now, they are also interconnected within your DNS, which is your domain name server. So when you have a domain name server, that is like I would call it the lifeline of your website. Because if your name server is down, if something is not corrected or connected, you're going to start having error messages and your website will not load. In other words, you'll be offline. And when you're offline, it means you're off the radar. So that DNS has to work like the way our body works. There's oxygen that is carbon dioxide, oxygen, there's blood flow. We have to think about our space, breathing, air. These are the things that are very important, essential, right? Very natural and very essential. That's the same way your podcast, your Pinterest, your SEO, which is your website. In other words, your social presence, your digital footprint should have the same NAP, name, address, phone number. Address doesn't have to be your actual address. Your address could be your virtual address, your web address, your https:// your domain. That's your address. So when people hear address, they think, oh, my address? No, your actual URL, your unique or uniform resource locator. So when you have these basic things in place, okay, domain check, CMS check, URL check, content check, just like you check your stuff before you leave, right? Bags check, hair check, nails check, food check, everything check, all checks, ready to go. And you're off the door, right? You're out the door, you're on the way, you're on the go, and you're doing your thing because you've already planned out your schedule, right? If you do the same thing for your website, that's the same type of effect that you're going to get. Because at this point, you're creating connections with people that you don't know yet. We don't know everybody. I don't know everybody. You don't know everybody. But we can do these things consistently because we can actually build them together. Shari says, can you put some of those websites in the chat? It's a lot of websites. So I'll put, if there's one that you heard or you remember what it sounded like, let me know what it sounded like and I'll put it in. But I'll put some of them as well that you can see. I know there's some that at the top of my mind, I can just recall them and then put them in the chat, which I'm doing right now. So boom. All right. Let me see. Should I send this one or the homepage? I think the homepage will be better because actually no, this one, because this will actually help. So the first one is answerthepublic.com. And yeah, this would definitely help because I want you to also see the value. Oh yeah, the Socrates one. Yeah, so that was Answer Socrates. Okay, boom. So I put that link in the chat. You're welcome, Char. Appreciate the love. I'm going to put the next one as, there we go, Answer Socrates. I've been using this for a long time. And it's one of those underrated, like you go to the ocean, you don't see these things in the ocean, but they're there. The deep blue ocean, this is it. Boom. All right, so it's in the chat. If you check these websites out, this is just a few, just to name off the hundreds of tools that I have, which I'm going to be bringing to you. So if you click the link above, you'll get that email because during this holiday season, I'm going to be giving my toolbox. I've never done this before. I thought about doing it some time back and I was like, I don't think people are ready yet. It's going to be overwhelming. But now I'm like, nope, it's Christmas. You get one, you get a tool, you get a link, you get this, you get a toolbox. You're welcome, Shari. So yeah, please click the link above so you can get more like this because I send out emails. We have over 10,000 people in our community, 8,000 email, 2,000 plus on LinkedIn. My LinkedIn is close to 20,000. I'm connecting with so many people and I'm just seeing people understand things better. Like I have better conversations with people these days, whether it's a client, a prospect, a podcast listener, whoever it is. Like we have better conversations because we understand the language. Like imagine if we didn't understand the same language, how will we have a very decent, comprehensive, constructive conversation? It's not going to happen. We need to have something that creates that middle ground between us. So if the middle ground is good language, good understanding, good speaking, then we can comprehend what we're both saying to make sure we can come to a conclusion that is beneficial mutually, or I can say mutually beneficial, however you want to put it. So when you're creating the experience online, the same way we've talked about these tools today, you want to create an experience that can last the test of time. SEO is not going anywhere. People say, oh, is AI going to replace SEO? No. AI is exposing SEO. In other words, if you're not doing SEO the way it's supposed to be done, now is the time to really see how that reflects because it's going to be there. The proof is in the pudding. I can just look at your website and say, boom, I don't see this, I don't see this, I don't see this, or I see this, I see this. It's very easy to tell, right? Because what I see on the front end can also be affected by the back end. So it can be technical, it can be creative, it can be script, it could be anything. So these are the things that we detect, we decode, we decipher, we demystify, and we deliver. We help you understand how these things work so that you can also understand how to place them for yourselves. So start a podcast today. If you want to start a podcast, please do. I started mine 2019, August 12th. I'm going to be 5 years on Clubhouse on Monday, November 24th, 2025. 600 episodes in on the podcast show. It's called We Don't Play, wedon'tplaypodcast.com, or just type in We Don't Play Podcast on Google and you will find it everywhere. And at this point, I've realized that when you have a responsibility, which we all do, right? When you have a responsibility to deliver a message, you want to deliver it in the most concise, the most presentable, and the most unique way that the person that is receiving it feels like you spent time thinking about them before they received it. Just like when you get a Christmas gift next month, just like you get a birthday gift every year, just like you get something special on your special day or on a day that you just feel like, okay, I'm gonna get this. You're gonna feel some type of way. You're gonna feel great, right? Because you deserve it. That feeling can be felt consistently if you're connecting with the people who are connecting back with you. In other words, if they're typing something that you have in your library, in your index, in your inventory, right? Because inventory is for products and services, index is for algorithms and data. So if your index says, okay, in this index, I have this blog, I have this product, I have this catalog, I have this ebook, I have this contact page, I have something to give, then we can have a trade. We can have an exchange. We can have some type of partnership. We can have some type of connection, right? If you don't have something to give and I have something to give, you're not going to give me something you have because there's nothing you're going to get in exchange. So it has to be a give. It has to be a two-way street. You don't see roads that are one way. It's a two-way street. So conversation is two-way. You talk with yourself with 70,000 thoughts in your head a day, but the conversations you have with the people that you want to have conversations with is where you want to see value come from. And the only way people are going to determine themselves how those conversations are going to go are based on how they're going to connect back with the people that they started the conversations with in the first place. So if I say, hey, I like this, and you're like, oh yeah, me too. I like this too. Okay, what do we like about it? Okay, let's talk about it. Before you know it, we're besties. We're going shopping together. We're doing this together because we find more things to like about each other just because we started with one thing, with one conversation, with one comment, with one word. So why am I saying this in the one-on-one aspect or sequence is that if you think about these platforms and not think about the destination, think about the journey, right? Start off with answering the questions. SEO. Okay, how do I do this? You get the first question. Let's say you get the first 5, practical example. Get the first 5. Let me even split it. Get the first 5 keywords from Answer the Public. Get the first 5 keywords from Answer Socrates. Compare them together. See which one has a better feeling that you would like, right? As a business, which one sounds better? Because the same thing you give is the same thing you receive. If you name your child a word, a name, that name is going to become the name that they're going to hear and receive. So if you're going to name your blog or name your song or name your book or name your podcast or name whatever you're going to name, right? That name is going to be the same name they're going to say back to you. So if those words that you get from Answer the Public, from Answer Socrates, sound like the names you want to hear or the questions you want to hear or the topics you want to respond to, then build those keywords because those are seeds, right? They only become plants. They only become trees. They only become fruits when they were first planted, right? That's why I always say words are seeds. When you talk to people, those are seeds because they remember those things that you said. Even though it's years later, they will remember. They may forgive you, but they will remember. So that feeling is a feeling you want to maintain, guard with your life. Don't be holding on for dear life because that's not the way to go. No, you want to create an expression that can last and have a lasting impression pretty much. So how does that work? I talked about the podcast like the sandwich, or the meat. Give people what they want to hear, right? Let them understand what they want to get back. Then give it back to them in form of a topic, in form of an episode, in form of a link. Then you send it out to them and say, hey, I got this information. Would you like this? Yes, no. Okay, let's talk about it. Whether you get yes or no, now you know what to do next. If you didn't get that yes or no, you'd be guessing. And guessing is not what you want to do right now because you don't have time to guess. You have time to take action. So you create the motion by setting the intention, right? You set the intention and say, okay, this is what I want to understand. Okay, if I get this feedback, then I know what to do next, right? From there, you have your podcast. You've talked about it. You've turned that into an SEO blog or an SEO video, however you want to call it, because you're creating content. Mind you, pro tip, the first 50 characters of your Instagram are very important with spaces because those words that you say in your first caption are technically the same words that you're going to see on google.com when you're searching for something. So if I'm typing a topic and somebody's caption started with those words in the phrase that you've researched on, which is simple, you researched on those keywords, check. You come back to your Instagram, you copy and paste it, or you now create a sentence from that keyword and create a sentence that is related to the context of your message. You paste it, you connect with people, Months later, years later, you're still going to see that link on your Instagram, because Instagram doesn't have specific links. The only links that they have are unique to your page. So it's going to be Instagram.com/P/ that number is. It's a unique identification code. If it's a reel, it will be Instagram.com/reel/ that unique identification code is. So you're getting those pieces of information, puzzling them together. The more consistently you post content, the more you show up in the algorithm for that right thing. So now you have a podcast, you're talking about something, you've posted it on your Instagram or Pinterest or TikTok or wherever you want to spend time on, specifically Pinterest, which is great for longevity. Now, because Pinterest allows you to connect your Instagram, and all your content on Instagram can literally be ingested into Pinterest. Think about it like I talked about a storage, right? The more you're able to store more and more information, the more you're able to keep, right? Instagram, you can't really store it because it's just there on your timeline. You can archive it, but that's really storage, quote unquote. But on Pinterest, that storage is live. It's public. It's still receiving data. You're still earning impressions. I still get people liking or saving my pins that were pinned 5 years ago in 2025 plus. So you wonder, okay, what's going on here? It's not just about posting. It's about what you're posting and how you're posting. Because when you place a post, that post is supposed to be seen. It's called a post. You don't post something that people don't see. If it's not seen, then it wasn't a post. It was passed by. It was not in view. So welcome, Sharon and Xavier. Thanks for being here as well, YD. So you create these expressions by building the intentionalities of understanding what people want, giving to them what they want. And then from there, you give them what they need. Don't give them what they need first, because sometimes they don't need it right now, but they will eventually. But what they want right now, I want to drink some water. That want is a necessity at the time. So if you're able to solve the problem, take the root problem out and solve the problem, then you can now say, hey, okay, we've solved this problem. Now let's have an undivided connection. Let's have an undivided attention connection. That's where you're able to build that from. Podcasting brings you in closer because you're able to see, do I like this person's voice? Do I like this person's tone? Do I like this person's message? Do I like what they're saying? You're asking yourself a lot of questions. But at the end of the day, the answer you get is going to make your next move. So if the answer is yes or no, you know the answer to that question. And then from there, you now decide how you want to take the next step. So with SEO, with podcasts, with Pinterest, it's a matter of placements. If you know the right words you want to say, put them in a bucket, put them together. You can ask ChatGPT, DeepSeek, Grok, Meta AI. The list is endless, Perplexity, and get the right information and then use it to your own branding, your own style, and then create that as well. Xavier says, please take a look at my website and IG. Please put your link in the chat. I will definitely do this. And what is even going to be better, because if I take a look at it right now, I'll be telling you what I see. I'd rather show you what I see. So you can put your link in the chat, and then as well as I just give you a follow back. So please connect with me in the chat. You can put your website, I'll save it. Then I can send you a video, because what I normally do too is I can send a video back to you based on what I see on your website. Then we can have a conversation on Zoom or Roam, whichever one that we use. And then we talk about what you want to do next with the information that you receive, because it's kind of like a diagnosis. Like I'll tell you, hey, this is what you have. Do what you want to do with it, because it's now the ball's in your court. And that way you're able to say, okay, is it a priority? Is it urgent? Is it a necessity? Is it going to help me move? Is it going to help me scale? If it's not, okay, if it is, then what do I need to do next? So I definitely love to help you with that for sure. And I don't want to go too deep into the details, but I would definitely love to help you with both your website and IG. So thanks for the question. And I'll be doing more stuff like this, because when I do one-on-one rooms like this, I want to make sure that it's understood, because the last thing I want to do is inform you with things that you don't need to know about right now, because those are things that when you know about, you're able to just cruise through them because you understand exactly what the concept is and you know exactly where you want to go with the information that you receive. So SEO is not hard. Podcasting is not hard. Pinterest is not hard. Go to business.pinterest.com, start your business account. Go to creators.spotify.com, start your podcast account for free. For SEO, choose any website you want to build, whether it's Wix, WordPress, Squarespace, Shopify, and start there. And then from there, have your website connected to Google Search Console. I talked about it yesterday. Connect yourself to Microsoft Bing. Put yourself out there. These are free tools. That's why I'm telling you for free. The difference is when it's time to now take action, have strategy, scale, read data, reports, analysis, analytics, competitive research, product and research development, that's when things really change too. So it's very important to create these things as well and be very specific on how you're able to make them. So create these moments and think about where you want to be right now and where you want to go. And if you decide on doing them the way you want to do them, great. If you want to take some time, that's fine too. So we can definitely talk about this more. And if there's any topic you want me to discuss, now is the time. Put the names that you want in the chat and I'm going to see it so that I can also screenshot it and come back as topics. And what you're actually doing right now is practically what we've been talking about all night. So if you write anything in the chat that says, I want to learn more about ABC or whatever you want to put in there, that's a keyword you've just told me that is of interest to you. And I'll come back to you with a whole blog, a whole podcast, a whole discussion that will answer that one question about that. So these are the things that you want to think about too. So Shari, I know I said a lot of stuff in the chat when I talked about it earlier, so I'll mention and I'll put some of them here for you as well. But it's a lot, Shari. That's why I'm saying I don't want to overload you because the more I talk about this, the more it's going to be like Pokemon. So I don't want you to go too crazy on this, but it's definitely something that you would love to see. And I believe if you're able to take these things, it will help a great deal. In fact, I'm going to start off with this. This will be the best way to actually do it. Speaking of links, so I'm going to do this real quickly. This is going to help you and also anyone that's listening to this. I talked about this yesterday. So when you click the link in the chat, which I'm about to put shortly. All right, here we go. So this is a link to the podcast episode that I did yesterday. All right, boom. All right, I'm going to do all listening tonight. You're going to do a whole binge night. Shari, definitely would love to hear your feedback. And yes, let's connect. You reminded me of like when you're watching Game of Thrones, you know, all season, all in. It's crazy. So I definitely, for sure. Shari, what's up?
It's so nice to see you. It's been a minute. Yeah, so the last two you spoke about in regards to the Pinterest one, like for the business, Pinterest and something else.
Yes, it was creators.spotify.com.
All right, so I'm going to put that in the chat for everybody else. Creators.spotify.com.
Yeah, thank you. It's a lot.
No, absolutely. No, it's cool. And then what was the Pinterest one? That's what it was. Okay. I wasn't near my phone, so I was like, dang it. Business.pinterest. Just.com? Business.pinterest.com? Yeah. Okay. All right. Got it. So I don't know if anybody else was trying to take those notes down, but I knew I wanted to take them down, and I swear to God, I am literally gonna go ham tonight. But thanks for pulling me up. I appreciate that because I really wanted to know, and I hope that helps. And I've listened to you for years, so I appreciate that.
Thank you, Shari. Appreciate
Absolutely.
you. Yeah, I don't do a lot of rooms these days because I'm so busy.
Oh, kudos though.
Thank you. I'm definitely going to be doing something special because it's going to be 5 years on Clubhouse on Monday. So I'm like, okay, it's going to be a little party over here. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'll definitely do something. Hey, Anisha, thank you for the fire emojis. Glad to have you here. Elizabeth, Derek, Elon, Ludwig, Shika. Hope I said the name correctly. Please forgive me if I said it wrong. Wally, thank you for being here too. It's been a great time for sure. So I'm excited that, we've been talking, teaching, and training for years. And it's not just Clubhouse, it's beyond that. But I think the amount of time I've given this app and people, I just don't know how many people I've talked to. If I was to count, I would not know the answer. But I'm glad there are people who have learned something, taken something, because freely given, freely give. So that's what we hear about. Sharing is caring, and it's a literal saying. It's not just a kumbaya. So I'm glad that we're here talking about this and actually
You
doing it.
literally quote scripture in your bio.
Thank you, Shari. Yes, I do.
Oh, you're welcome. I know.
I do. It's literally it, because I want people to know, and that way it's not like, oh, I'm going to put in your face. This is me. So, resonate. Let's do it. That's how it should be. So I'm really glad that we're able to talk about stuff. So yeah, I see the heart, Shari. Thank you. Appreciate the love. Dr. Fashion, it's been a while. How are you? And I don't know if it's Happy New Year or Happy next year, but how have you been?
I've been good. It's good to see you on here. I know it's been a minute, so really good to see that you're doing a room today.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I've been here. Just, I said, what, let me do a pop-up room, talk about these things, because I see a lot of 101s and going on as well. So it's a lot of, tech stuff happening. And by the way, Dr. Fashion, now that you're here, I got to tell you this, because I know we talked about this some time back, but I think it was over a year. You probably have not remembered about this, but I want to remind you about this. We talked about Adobe one time, and I'm bringing this up because I'm actually actively doing this. We talked about Adobe sometime, and I remember saying, hey, it would be so good to, do animations and do tutorials for SEO and Pinterest and all this good stuff, like have like cartoons and animations. I thought about it and I said, I'll give it some thought. And now I'm actually working on a series, an SEO series that is going to be done for animation purposes. And with this animation now, it'll be easier for me to explain things, definitions faster, so that people can just get the information and, go about their day, but they're also listening to information that is valuable. It's not just a cartoon, it's value. So I wanted to let you know that I'm actually getting that on board now, and I'm planning to do that for December, because my birthday's in a month, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to make sure that in December I have something special. I'm working on some other things too, but the animation piece is something that I'm working on specifically, so that it's a series and it's just something that's done quick, like a mini series. I'm not trying to give people 30 minutes of stuff, but as long as they can watch it in 30 seconds, 3 minutes tops, or depending on how I'm explaining stuff, then it will be good. But that's what I'm working on. I wanted to let you know, because I don't know when I'll talk to you again.
Well, that sounds amazing. You mentioned Adobe, so are you doing the animation with one of Adobe's
Yes, I'm going to
products?
be using Adobe Express with the animation, and I have Adobe Creative Cloud. So I was like, oh, they even gave me access to it, because I've been using Creative Cloud for over 7 years or so now. So I was like, since I already have the Adobe Creative Cloud, why not use the Adobe Express and then see how I can use that for educational purposes? Because I remember starting off like a ticket. And I was like, no, I don't want to look like a ticket. So I said, let me give it some time. That was like my first thought, because I was thinking ticket would be like a ticket or a pass, figuratively. But I said, no, let me just switch it up. And now I switch it up to one of the animations that is like, he's sitting down on the grass by the fence, and he's just talking to you like a Mike Lou and Og, or an Ed and Eddie type of situation. So I thought about it, and I was like, I want to keep it cool, chill, not too crazy, but also educational and really rich in value. So that's what I'm going to be working on. I already did the test on Instagram as a trial reel for 72 hours. It's to all my non-followers, and then I'm going to bring it to my followers, and it's been getting some really good attention and feedback. So I'm like, okay, this beta testing is working, so I'll bring more in and see how it goes.
Well, definitely send it my way. I would love to see it. One other option, I guess this is for everybody in the room who wants to tap into animation. If you have the Adobe Creative Cloud, they have an app called Adobe Animate. So you could take any character that you have on your computer and animate in real time with your own movements. So if you wanted to take one of the characters from the Adobe Express and drop it into Adobe Animate, You can turn your camera on from your computer, or you can use a DSLR, and you could do your own movement for that animation, or you can create your own character with AI and then drop it into that program as well.
Boom. That's what we're talking about. Thank you, Dr. Fashion. And Shiko, thanks for being here. Glad to see you. It's been a while. Thank you for being in the room. Glad to connect with you. And thanks for always showing up as well. That was dope. You're right. You know, animation is one of the most underrated ways of technology and creativity. I mean, look at Disney and Kroger. I'll just give you those two examples. You know, heavy on animation. So if you can use it in your most minute way, in your most basic way, and still relay information and convey information that can portray something that someone values, it's not about the AI tool you used or the animation character you used or what color was their hair. It's about what you said and what you were expressing. So I'll definitely send it over to you, because I'm like, okay, if I do these things really quickly, what is SEO? Okay, SEO is this. What is Pinterest? What is this? Oh, how do I find keywords? Oh, go to this. So people are not even looking at me. They're listening to what's being said, and then the captions are being generated so that you can just go and do exactly that. So that by the time you're coming back for the next episode, you've understood the concept. Because the worst thing is to rush through something and not understand anything at all. Because once you understand the first thing, you get it. Okay, second thing, you get it. Third thing, you get it. Great. It's out there. And it's not even for sale. It's not like it's going to be monetized. It's going to be educational. It's free, you know. But when you now come to concept, the connection, the setup, the process, that's when it gets really, you know, technical. And that's really where I'm seeing it go, because it's going to definitely give people a lot of insight for sure. So yeah, this is good. I'm glad that we are, you know, talking about this, and I'll be bringing more information like this to you. This is not a fully animation room for those who are just jumping in, but we've really how do I say this? We've given I want to put it in a very specific way. I've divided the concept of SEO, podcast, and Pinterest to a way and to a place of understanding what they equally do to each other, like a tripod stand that would make everything come back full circle. So you can't, and I'm saying it this way, you can't have a podcast that doesn't have SEO or Pinterest. You can have a podcast without Pinterest. You can have SEO without Pinterest. When I'm looking at the full cycle, when it comes to longevity and accessibility, right? Because images is accessibility, screen reading, you know, image alt text, you know, alternative text. These are all alternatives within the HTML code, the hypertext markup language code. So if you're thinking about SEO, podcast, and Pinterest, it means that if I wrote the topic Podcast 101, that's my title. SEO wise, that's the search. Pinterest wise, that's the search. Google wise, that's the search. So if I have all these searches coming back to Podcast 101, then if I have a blog saying Podcast 101, here's everything you need to know about starting a podcast, someone's going to click on that and they're going to read it. But guess what? There are millions and billions of other blogs that talk about the same thing. So what's going to make yours different? And that's where people feel like, oh, no, it's already been said. What am I saying that's different? It's your perspective. It's unique. Nobody has your perspective. It's unique to you. So if you bring that unique perspective and then bring in the concept of what everyone understands fundamentally, then you can use your podcast as a place of reference. You can use SEO as a place of reference. You can use your Pinterest as a place of reference. Throughout the year, for me, I don't run ads. I love to run ads for clients. I love to connect with businesses. I love to make sure that, you know, we're all interconnected and we're reaching the goals that we need to based on billboard advertising, TV advertising, Meta advertising, Pinterest advertising, LinkedIn advertising. I've talked to Pinterest twice this week, today and Tuesday. So I'm listening. I know what's happening. I'm watching. I'm just like, okay, this is what's going on. People are running ads. How are we connecting these numbers? How are we making sure the creatives are actually making sense? How are we very specific with our targeting? And we're doing this for clients, but I'm not running ads for myself. It's organic because I'm practicing what I'm preaching. I talk about SEO all year, and every year that's what's happening. We're helping businesses. This year alone, it's not even December yet, but we've been able to connect with 92 businesses and help them. This year, 92 businesses. It's usually, my goal is always to make it 100 businesses every year. So we have a couple of weeks left in the year. So I'm excited because the more businesses that I helped, the more systems that are updated, the more traffic that is gotten, it's better. I did 3 screenshots today of Google Search Console, mine for my website, and 2 others. I did for a bakery that we manage in Atlanta, and what's the other one? Oh my God, there's so many. What's the other one? Let me check the screenshot. Hold on one second. I got it right here. Okay. So this one, oh yeah, so boom. All right, so one is a bakery and one is a beauty line. Yeah, that's it. One is a bakery and another one is a beauty brand. So I'm looking at the analytics from a 6-month gap. So between today, 6 months prior, and between 6 months prior to the prior 6 months. So, and the graphs are looking really beautiful. I'm going to put them on LinkedIn and talk about them specifically, because it's not about writing articles, posting every day and connecting all the time. It's not. It's about writing the right things and modifying at the right time, right? When you modify these things and help, it makes a lot of sense. This year alone, I said I'll say this earlier in the room, and I said I'll make sure I say it before we close. This year alone, right now as we speak, I've published, out of the 600 episodes that we have out there, 130 episodes have been published this year. 130. I've published, the last one was this morning. The 130th one was this morning. 130 episodes out of 365 days. When I look at this, I did the math. I was like, oh, that's about 40% of my time this year has been dedicated to podcasting. So I said, if I was to put these hours twice the amount, what would I have gotten if it wasn't for God first, and also connecting with close to 100 clients that have been able to build businesses all over the world? It's not just here, it's global, right? Yesterday I was on a call with somebody in Canada. The other person was in Hawaii. The other person was in Florida. So every day I'm connecting with people all over the world. And to me, I'm just like, this is beautiful. Everybody's doing their thing. I'm connecting with people who I've never met in my life, but they found me on a podcast somewhere. They connected with me on LinkedIn somewhere. They saw me within an email that I sent that they saw 2 years later and came back and said, oh yeah, I remember checking this out. And I see that all the time. And I'm grateful, because I know that these conversations that we're having, somebody's hearing them. And if one person is hearing it, I'm good. I'm Gucci. I'm straight, because I know that. And then G DOS comes into the room. You see how the algorithm works? I just use the G and then G comes into the room. Look at that. Y'all just saw that, right? That was not a gimmick. That was not a flick. That was real life. And that just happened right now. That's crazy. Thank you, Xavier. I have seen the link in the chat for sure. I'm going to check it out for sure. So it's the algorithm working its thing. You know, somebody today was saying, hey, you know, I was talking about you and you called me right in the middle of the conversation. I was like, I don't know. For me, I have high radar senses, and I'm just like, yeah, I thought about this person. Let me talk to them. Let me say hi. Let me just check on them and see how they're doing. That's just me. I'm not trying to, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's cool. By the end of the day, it's really up to you, and you want to know, how are these things going to make a difference for you? You know, you build with people, you connect with people, you leave good things with people. When people think about you and they're good things, and then you call them and you talk to them, or they talk to you and they're good feelings, that's a good thing. You see, Mike, we're talking about, you see, what did G say? Me and Mike were talking about you yesterday. You see what I'm talking about? That is crazy.
I love that. You love that, by the way, I just want to say. And when you get a second, I would like to say something to anybody that's listening before
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so you made a comment that you're unique to yourself. And so people are going to, take what they want in that moment. I have like this random thing I always say, especially to young kids and young adults. I dislike when people say, oh, that's oversaturated or that's already being done, as if to downplay that they couldn't do that. So that's number one. Second, if you go to any particular corner, you have a McDonald's, a Wendy's, a Burger King, and a Taco Bell, right? I'm sorry, Favour, if you want McDonald's today, are you going to Taco Bell? Yes or no?
I'm not going today.
You're going to McDonald's, right? My point in saying that is this. What's for whoever wants to receive that particular thing is going to go to that thing. So don't, I guess my thing is, don't feel like just because you're saying one thing that may have been said 1,000 times over, whoever it's for is going to be for. So don't be just, what's the word I'm looking for? Just do it, because trust me, whoever wants the McDonald's is going to go to McDonald's. Whoever wants the Taco Bell is going to go to Taco Bell. Whoever wants the Wendy's, etc. So don't be discouraged. Thank you, Jesus Lord. Don't be discouraged and just do it, and don't feel discouraged because McDonald's was there first. Doesn't matter. Just go do your thing, because there is somebody that's going to receive what you have to say, do, etc. And that's all I wanted to say, Favour. Thank you very much, love.
Thank you, Shari. That was refreshing. That's the word I can say. Yeah, that was refreshing. Because when you were talking about Taco Bell and you're talking about McDonald's, in my head, I was like, I don't eat them. So if I answer the question... About McDonald's, people think about food. I don't eat McDonald's, and I'm thinking McDonald's equals real estate. So I'm thinking business. I'm thinking, okay, merchandise, franchise. I'm thinking otherwise. I'm thinking, I just learned recently, even like the way they built, this is so unrelated, but I think it's super related to business. There's a difference between, which makes so much sense when I heard it. There's a difference between, hey Celeste, long time, glad to have you here. And Modub too, glad to see you as well. I noticed that McDonald's, now we're talking about McDonald's, so let's dive in a little bit. McDonald's, there's a reason why they make or they build their floors in a certain type of way. I learned this recently because it's real estate, right? They build their walls and their floors in a type of way. And the way they do it is so that you can hear somebody eating. It's a fast food restaurant, so you got to be on your feet. You got to go. It's not Starbucks where you're going to sit down and chill. So there's an ambiance, there's a tone that has been set. So there's a difference between McDonald's with the way you hear people's feet, you hear people eating, you hear people laughing. It's quick, it's on the go, compared to a casino where the carpet has absorbed the noise. You can't even hear somebody walking. Just like that. So if you look at brands, businesses, industries, and relate them, it helps. And Shari says, do not let anyone negate your thoughts, plans, ideas. That's bars right there. It's the truth. You just got to know exactly what you want to do and do it authentically, and the right people will come. Like I think I did a room earlier this week and there was only one person or two people. It was a Monday or Tuesday, I can't remember when. And I finished the room and it was great. We had a great conversation, because 3 years from now, I get notifications. Oh, someone heard your room in 2022. I'm like, wow. What was the topic? Pinterest. Okay. When was it? November. Okay. I'm reading those things. It's not by happenstance. It's because someone somewhere is looking for that information specifically to answer a specific question that they are asking the search engines. So it just makes sense. So thank you, Shari, for that. Celeste, we love. Yes, Shari, appreciate you. Celeste, we love to hear from you. Ladies first. We love to hear from you. How are you? Long time. It's like y'all are just coming back to the app after a while. So it's glad to see you, Celeste. And it will come to you, Love Dove. What's going on?
Hi. Oh my God. I literally on a whim was looking on here and I saw you had a room. Hi, Favor. Hey, Brittany, Sherry. Hey, Mo. I see
Seen him
Mo.
forever either.
I know. Listen, y'all, I be in the trenches in the summertime with my business. So I'm a little MIA, but now it's like kind of the downturn. But I'm really happy to be here. I just came up to say hi. So I'll let y'all, continue the convo and I'll just listen and chime in. But thank you for inviting me up.
Thank you, Celeste. Appreciate you. Yeah, it's so great to see amazing connections and friends and people. This is like a
A
community,
reunion.
a reunion, right? 100%. It's amazing. Think about this app. We've been here for almost 5 years. 5 years on Monday, and I'm like, the number of people I've met in person, that have met online, that have met on Clubhouse, met on. You just never know, and it could be anywhere in the world. So yeah, this room may look small, but there are big people in this room. So better recognize. So thank you for being here, each and every one of you. I see you as well, Jay as well. Thank you for being here, Deolu. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining the marketing club. I see you have a ticket. So at the very top, click the marketing club and you'll be a member of this amazing club where we have about 352.5k members consistently. So glad to have you here as well in the room. Mo Dub, what's going on, man? How you doing? Anything that you'd like to say to the room? Topic, conversation, question, the floor is yours.
Me, man. Your voice is an invoice, man. That's all I got to tell the people in the room, right? The more you speak, the more you get paid, right? We get on stage because we know that speaking will get us paid, period, right? Whether it's by voice, by text, by video, however you broadcast your voice is going to generate an invoice for you eventually. Just keep doing it, keep being consistent. And I was just like Celeste. I was sitting here Friday night. I really didn't have anything to do. I was like, I should kind of sort of organize this apartment because it's junky as hell. Yeah, I ain't gonna do that. And I just happened to look at my phone and, oh, Favor's got a marketing room. Let me slide in here. And then right after I slide in, here comes Celeste. Like, oh, well, shit, it was a good move. Right? So thanks for having me, brother. And anything you need me to contribute to the conversation, just hit me up, man, and I'll jump in.
Thank you.
Listen, it's a Friday night old people's club. Let's go.
Do it. It's a Friday night. We're feeling all right.
I know you were going to shut it down, but listen. You can't.
Us.
It kind of is. No, it actually is, actually.
No, this is dope.
And wait a second. Flavor. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I apologize. You're in Atlanta? Okay. Because I didn't think so. I actually just moved back to Atlanta in June.
Oh, wow. I wish I knew that.
I'm in the A. So
who's it? Mo? You're here?
Yeah. I'm in North Decatur.
Okay, so I'm in Marietta. I'll come organize and clean your house. I have a whole cleaning company. Let it go. I'll do it for you. But I'm gonna get paid for it.
I know you will.
Listen, her voice is an invoice. Go ahead and pay it, Mo.
He said it, not me.
I will say this though. Whatever you think your rate is probably going to be, when you get over here, you're gonna be like, man, double for you, man. This place is a mess. But that's an offer I can't refuse right there.
You see what happens when you talk. What do they say? Closed mouths don't get fed.
100%.
A closed mouth is a closed mouth is a closed destiny.
Jeez.
A lot of things. So you can speak life. This world was made by spoken word. I mean, just think about it. Think about how your words resonate. I mean, you're speaking at a frequency, right? When you hear someone talk, it's at a frequency. I had a podcast episode with someone, and I learned for the first time, it's not out yet because it's going to be out soon. And that I just remember the episode we talked about, and he said this just to give y'all a prelude. He said that everybody has a color. You know how like Richard of York gained battle in vain? That the rainbow colors, all those colors of the rainbow, right, represent a certain frequency, right? Or I'll call it electromagnetic wave or hertz or however you want to call it, because light moves faster than sound.
Cadence.
Exactly, cadence, right, exactly. So if you're looking at light, you're looking at sound, you're looking at the way they come together. This is the science of it all. If your voice can turn into a color, what color do you think your voice would be? For me, I haven't gotten the full report yet, but it's going to be around because it's closer to his voice. And he was like, we're going to kind of have the same voice because he has a deep voice too. And he said it's going to be around blue. And when you think about the color blue, you think about calmness. You think about oceans. You think about the waves. You think about, oh, I can listen to you and go to sleep type of thing. So your voice could be red. Your voice could be yellow. Your voice could be orange. We don't know until we find out. But your tone is important. That's why people say, and we all know this, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Because if I say something that you don't believe or don't feel, then that frequency is not going to resonate with the body and it's not going to have a good energy response. It's just the way it is. So the way you connect with people, both in business and relationships, is cool. Now I know two people in Atlanta that I didn't know because I was in Atlanta for the last, 2 weeks. My cousin just got married. I was there the weekend before for a fitness conference. I should be back again in Atlanta in January, and I might be back in December. I don't know yet. But those are 2 times I'm going to be back. So when I do come now, I know y'all are there.
Yes, I'm back channel. I just put in the chat too. I never even thought of it the way you just said about the rainbow. But to anybody, this is such a huge marketing thing. Pay attention to the doctor's offices that you go to. They're either yellow or blue. Because it's calming. Because people get scared to go to the doctor, so it's calming. Pay attention to the logos of companies. It's done in perpetuity. It's done on purpose. If that makes sense. Which I know some people get.
Love that. You just got me thinking about McDonald's again with the way they paint yellow
Yep.
on their walls, because Chick-fil-A is red, and these palettes give you a sort of rush because when you see a color, it gives your brain a sort of type of new. I don't even want to go too deep in psychology and marketing, but these things happen. Call to action buttons, even with Coca-Cola, for example. Yes, they are red, but during Christmas, they use green. They have a secondary palette. So as a business, what is your primary, secondary, and tertiary palette looking like? That way you're able to know how to, cut across the noise and also have a competitive advantage and a comparative advantage. So Shari, that thing about the walls in the hospitals makes a lot of sense because that blue looks like you're just looking into an ocean and your mind is also in a settling place. So yeah, pay attention to your walls and the walls you also have in your house too. That's also another thing too. So yeah, pay attention to these things because they matter a lot. So thank you, Shari, for that highlight. Very, very important. You see, we love to learn. You see, I don't know everything. We don't know everything. We just keep learning. And that's what makes life fun because we keep learning. It's a continuous learning experience. And that's life, so I love that. Jay, what's going on? Thank you for being here. Been a minute as well. How you doing?
Hey, what's up, brother? Hey, good to see everybody in the room. Man,
Old school.
yeah, definitely old school clubhouse in the building. What you said actually reminded me of an old room that I was in. Your voice is your currency, and so I love that room because it was so powerful to just make us realize how much how we feel on the inside comes on the outside, you know, and the things that we say and how we say it, how we communicate, even the confidence that we have when we're communicating, not even on the surface level, but for subliminal, you know, subconscious level, like how do we view ourselves? It reflects in your tone. You could even know how I'm feeling right now just by the tone and how I'm communicating. So yeah, it is definitely a psychology behind it, and it's something you can't even hide. Like your body keeps the score, and I feel like your part of the body is the voice, and the physical communication that comes out of our mouths communicates how we're feeling. And you know, I think it's so powerful. Yeah, your voice is your currency, and that's your share kind of made me think about that. Great room.
Thank you, Jay. Yeah, it's so true. There has to be resonance, right? A lot of things have to resonate because that way it just allows you to express yourself, feel some type of way, and connect to people. There's some people you wouldn't even talk to just because you can't stand their voice. No.
Big freaking
You,
facts.
you see what I'm talking about, Shari? So it's there, and it plays a big role into your peace, your mind, your tranquility, your place, your safe haven. You know, these are things that we take for granted, but they actually, you know, when someone says you're my peace, you know, it doesn't just have a surface level. It means a lot of things emotionally and psychologically. So it's big. So thank you so much, Jay, for that insight as well. Appreciate you for the share. You see, I was about to close this room and then it turned into a whole masterclass and a whole session. You already know. I see you, Olivia and Lucy and Brandon. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of the marketing club. If you are here for the first time, please click the marketing club at the very top and join the club. We have amazing rooms like this and we share amazing conversations that make you think and also make you, you know, think differently. And also we love to hear your thoughts because your thoughts matter too. So you can put in the chat or you can raise your hand and you can be here with us. So we're going to go to Xavier and then Perita. I hope I said it correctly. Welcome to Clubhouse. I see you got a party hat on. Welcome to Clubhouse. Xavier, we'd love to hear from you. And by the way, I've looked at your website, so I'd love to hear your thoughts, comments, questions. Feel free. The floor is yours.
Oh, great. I appreciate that. You're looking at the site. Yeah, it's that comment I heard just a couple minutes ago about the voice being a calling card of sorts. What means a lot to me. I work primarily in the media broadcast voice space, and there's so many different schools of thought in terms of how to market and brand the work that I do. And, you know, it's I'm approaching it very instinctively. And most of my time is spent working, and the work speaks for itself. I loudly, probably the loudest. Because what I'm noticing, in particularly, well, in show business in general, and not just in the voice spaces, lots of pretty packaging, very Trojan horse, very, look at this pretty package, pay attention to me. I open up the package, nothing's there. No quality, no ability, nothing. No one, just crickets and cobwebs. And in a way, I suppose that could be maybe a marketing strategy for me, just, you know, highlighting the emptiness of my competitors' packages. It makes me laugh because I kind of old school with my approach, and you know, I believe in really cultivating a more holistic and organic approach to branding and marketing, as opposed to coming up with this colorful image. Maybe it's because of the nature of the work I do. You know, I am by using my voice as an instrument, and because of that, how I'm branding and marketing and creating positive visibility for myself has been natural progression of just what my unique cultivated process is as an artist. Like, who am I as an artist? What the strengths are, how I study, what the creative approach is, what's unique to me in this experience, and sharing that. So I've been exploring and experimenting with sharing those things, and so far it's been interesting. It's been an interesting process. All these different gadgets, social media, and on and on. And Clubhouse has been an interesting tool to use over the past couple of years. It's audio based, so I guess I'm marketing myself just by talking. So there are a lot of different ideas that come to mind. I do run a class on here on Clubhouse. People who want to learn about the voiceover industry, break into the industry, become voice actors, kind of an actor's studio for voice-over artists. And so I'd love to hear some of your thoughts on how to create more visibility for that, because I'm always in study mode year-round. Whether or not I have students, that's kind of how I operate. And then just to land this plane, there are a lot of different things that you could hear me narrate, stories that you could hear me narrate, different shows on History Channel. When you go to my website, you'll see them. And if you're into animation, I'm a Transformers cast member as well. You can catch some of those shows on YouTube and Apple TV and Netflix and all sorts of different things that I'm doing. So I've been keeping it interesting for a while, and that will continue. I want my unique story and message to get out there in a way that is consistent and timely, and dare I say, user-friendly. So thanks for hearing me out. I'm open to, of course, positive feedback.
Definitely. Thank you, Xavier, and thank you for all the things that you do, connecting with a lot of people and building their voices, which is what we have, and it's one of the most important assets, of a daily basis that we, connect with people. And you've been doing it for more than 25 years. So congratulations to you. And I'm excited that you're doing this and helping a lot of people. To answer your question, if the two things I say next resonate with you, then, or anyone in the room, please click the link above and put your first name, best email, and then you'll be redirected to get on a call with me, and you can pick a time and a date that you're available, and we can talk about this, because I don't want this information to just go and then it's gone, and then we go and then everybody's going home and nothing was done. So I like to take action. So I'm just going to say this before I say these two things. Number one, and I'm using your website as a quick audit from what I've seen. Your website is great and you have a lot of potential to scale it. One, I can see it's on WordPress, it's on Elementor. I can read it, because we scan websites and audit websites, scale them. So understanding the build is very important too. So you have a very good build. Now, because you have that, you have leverage, you have brand equity, you have a pedestal, you have a potential to scale. Now, with the fact that you have a lot of brands, businesses that you have worked with, actors, actresses, just amazing people that you have, connected with, are highlighted on your website. Right now, I can only see your website as text. I don't see hypertext. In other words, I'll just pick one, for example. Where is it? Boom. HBO. I was trying to say ESPN and HBO at the same time. HBO. I'm going to do HBO Sports. HBO Sports is there on your website. But if I hover over the text on your webpage that says HBO Sports, I can't click HBO Sports. I can only read HBO Sports. So what does that mean? To me, the consumer, I can only read it. If I don't know what HBO Sports is, and
No,
I don't,
Netflix.
okay, Netflix. Okay, let's keep it open then. Oh, no backlinks. I said, I'm thinking HBO Sports, Netflix. She said backlinks. Shari said backlinks. Right. You don't have, and yes, a backlink. And I was going to say this as well. You don't have a backlink, but more specifically, you don't have an external link, right? Because if I was to hypertext or hyperlink your HBO text and put a link on top of it and say, okay, what is HBO Sports website? HBO Sports, I'm doing it right now as we speak. Boom. So HBO Sports is hbo.com/sports. I would take that URL, that unique resource locator, and then I would go to your Elementor. This is free information. This is something you can just do. That's why I'm telling it as it is, because it's very practical. You can highlight HBO Sports and then link HBO Sports website to your website. So what you've just done is you've created a backlink for HBO Sports. And there's a do follow and a no follow. So by default, it will be a do follow. A no follow just means that you're giving credit, but you're not attributing to it on the algorithm spectrum, if that makes sense. In other words, your no follow means that you're not going to attribute the link that you just linked to as a factor or determining expression for what you think about that link, because you don't want the other link to gain from your reference or from your citation. A do follow means that let this person know that I've linked back to them and they have accepted my attribution, because now we're interconnected on the space. So if someone types in a keyword, we're both going to show up as a result because we're tied, or we're spiderwebbed, if that makes sense. So that's it for the backlink. For the external link, an external link means that you have put the HBO link, think about it right now. I just went to Google. If for me to have gone to Google to type HBO Sports, to click through to Google and now go into HBO Sports website, it took me 1, 2, 3 steps, because I had to create a new tab. Then I had to type google.com, actually 4 steps. Then I had to hit enter once I get the results, and then I have to click on the link that I actually see that is related to HBO Sports. So I've done 4 things to get to one destination. If you had HBO Sports on your web page, I could have just clicked there and boom, I'm right into HBO Sports website. I've bypassed Google. But Google knows that HBO Sports has a backlink from your website, right? From xaviergreatvoice.com, because I want to also give you the reference on 2 sites, 2 domains. So if you have both of them and you have great content, now I'm seeing GTA there too, especially people keep talking about GTA, when is it dropping? They keep extending the deadline. That's a great resource for you, because that's an external link. So if there's a link for that, then that's a great place for you to place it. Now, you're not doing that so that you can start spamming, because that's another thing. You'll be like, okay, am I going to do this so I can gain? It's not going to do anything drastically. But what you create around your castle, around your house, around your property is what's going to attribute to that. Why? Because when you now connect your website to Google Search Console, you start connecting the properties to actual assets. Now your lights turn on, because I can do all this linking on your website and I'm not driving any traffic. That is very possible. What's going to make the difference is that your website is connected to Google Search Console and it's picking up pages that are being indexed on the surface, just like HBO was indexed into Google. That's the first thing I wanted to say when it comes to your content on your website. When you have those links and those links are not interconnected, it's going to be hard for you to see past what you were saying with how to advertise, how to get more visibility. The second thing I was going to say to back this up, which is part of the room today, SEO 101 plus podcast 101 plus Pinterest 101, is that for you have a specific target audience. And because you're focusing on voice acting, and like you said earlier, you can talk and literally read a book or say a story and do it in a really nice way, because with acting, with your voice, you can be able to depict or create a scenario. Imagine adding music to the background, effects to the background. You make it so thematic, you make it so theatrical that it's very sensual, and it's also very aesthetically pleasing to the eye and also to the ear. So if you're going to create content, whether it's in audio form or video form, the second thing I was going to say too to audit your site is that if you have a podcast which if you don't, I would love for you to have one. If you have a podcast, you can create your podcast and build that visibility without having to lift a finger. Like, most times people are posting online to gain traffic, to gain relevance, to gain credibility, to gain monetization, to gain. Now, the gaining will happen after you've been able to put things together. In other words, if I know it's going to rain in the next 3 days, I have 3 days to buy as many buckets as I can, so that by the time the rain falls, I can gather all the buckets that have water in them because the rainwater fell into these buckets. If I buy one bucket, then I'm only going to get one bucket that has water. If I have 50 buckets, then I have 50 buckets that have 50 buckets of water individually. Now, I'm using that analogy to say, if you have a podcast and you're talking about genres within your voice acting, industry, and this is the top reasons why people want to get into voice acting, or how to prepare for a voice acting gig, or how to prepare for a voice acting, intro, or how do you prepare for, let's say there's a calling cast, how do you do that? How do you understand, okay, people need this cast for this thing, or it's an extra, or is it the main person, or is it the voice? Is it for advertising? Is it for radio? Is it for TV? Is it for documentary? There are so many avenues you can go into it, because podcasting is associated with genres. Just like music is associated with genres, the same thing with voice is associated with genres. Film, movies are associated with genres. So if books are associated with genres, so if the same difference is across all of them, and you have a podcast that now your podcast is where the cornerstone is, you can now build your visibility map from your podcast, because the more you're able to speak, like Mo said, your voice is your invoice. The more you're able to speak, put that voice into an MP3, put that MP3 into a hosting platform, put the hosting platform into a server, and there you go. You're on all platforms. People are listening to your voice, and there are links that are corresponding with those messages that you're making. And then in turn, you're able to now let people know how they can work with you, where they can find you online. I like to get people to connect with me on LinkedIn first, because that way you can validate what you need to validate before you go to the website and go to other platforms. But I'm available on other platforms too. So if you do the same thing for yourself, your podcast now becomes your radio, your message in a bottle. And that's how you can be able to create those things. I know it was a little over and long, but if those two things resonated with you, then I hope we can take the next step. Yes, go ahead.
It's even a deeper discussion that's ongoing. So I look forward to having that with you on your consult call. And yeah, it's a lot, and I'm moving incrementally. Jay, I did get your back message, and I'll be reaching out to you as well.
I'm definitely reaching out to you, Xavier, as well, because I do have things that I would like to share as well.
I appreciate that. I do. Yeah, my goal is, I've been studying and training myself and others to be some of the most compelling storytellers in the world. That's my vision. My vision has been and continues to be simply this. What if I created some of the best voices on the planet and availed them to what I've discovered to be the best craft techniques and approaches to be some of the most compelling voices and storytellers that the planet has ever known.
I'm going to cut you off for a second, and I typically don't do this, but I want to just reword what you just said. When, not if.
Well, I was speaking retrospectively. It is happening now. So there's no, it's a reality that I'm describing. So thanks. And it's okay. Listen, I've been cut off before. It's not permanent, so I'm okay. I speak in the present because that is so very key to go ahead and embody and own the realities that I want to create. But I share that because that vision continues to excite me, because every new story is exactly that. It's a new, fresh approach, and so I'm serving not just the entertainment community, but also the marketing and advertising world as well, which has its own goals and visions and needs. In the advertising world, voicing for commercials and such, there's this compelling desire to move more product, be more effective, call to action, and all that stuff. Just to share, I'm absolutely deep inside that conversation as well, and that my craft work is designed not necessarily in a neuromarketing way to accomplish those goals, but to find ways to be compelling, grounded, real, in a way that is actually a product of a state of being versus, just a quality to sell a product. Authenticity is very important to people these days. So I do appreciate the space, and your feedback was great. Okay.
And can I tell you really quick before, because I only have like a couple minutes.
Let's do it.
So first, hi Xavier. I gave you a follow on Instagram because congrats on all your endeavors. Like I was just looking at some of the projects you worked on. That's super dope. I don't think I've ever met a voiceover actor on Clubhouse, but I met a lot of people. So congrats on all of the things. Before I give you this advice, I want to let you know, Favour, I am not a paid affiliate of Favour. When I make recommendations on working with him, just know he ain't slipping me no 10s and 5s on the back end, okay? So I specialize in SEO, but specifically like SEO for service-based businesses. But I did a little research for you for free. You're welcome. I use this really handy tool called SEMrush, SEMrush, and everybody here can use it for free just to look up kind of like data on who's searching for what on Google. And specifically, I wanted to see like how many people were searching for what you do. So I'm driving, but the keywords are how to get into voice-over acting. The survey says 110 people search for that every single month here in the U.S. And to rank for that, it's actually in the easy range. So it basically ranks keywords from 0 to 100, 0 being like, just pop up a little website. It'll rank 100 being like, Jesus can't rank for this, so don't even try. And the score is 18, and that's actually really low. So that means that if you were to have this consult with Favour and he, helps you with your website and you focus on these keywords, which I always recommend setting up landing pages specific to the keywords you want to rank for. Not like a whole website, just a page that focuses on how to get into voice over acting. And he has all the formula for that, so I'm not going to go into that. But that means you could most likely rank with very little effort. Because at the end of the day, if people are searching for what you're doing and you're not showing up, you're leaving money on the table, literally. That's like 3 to 4 people a day that are searching for something that you're clearly already good at. Like you already have success in it. So you already did the work. So I would highly recommend to look into SEO. The good thing about SEO is, yes, you can pay, to rank, but since the keyword difficulty is so low, you can do work on this and, basically rank organically. So you do the work once and pretty much show up. That's my claim to fame. I own a business where I make the business grosses $200K a year, and our claim to fame is local SEO. So I just wanted to give you that. Another little quick tip. I don't know if you are a Reddit fan, but when people are searching for this keyword, the number one result is a Reddit article or column. So if I were you, I would go on over to Reddit. If you haven't already seen, this link, just search, Google, it'll pop up, and put your information on there, because that's like free juice that you could be getting just by commenting and introducing who you are on this Reddit column. So, okay, that's all. Thank you for letting me speak.
That's great, Celeste. I just wanted to jump in and thank you for that. Yeah, I had started answering, I believe, some questions either was on Reddit or was it's Reddit's competitor, just answering basic questions, and I thought that was great. And to do that more regularly, absolutely, is key. And I'm keeping in mind, this is about positive visibility, going ahead and creating that positive visibility for myself. And So to get all these great ideas and to implement them is absolutely wonderful and appreciated. Thank you.
Yeah, and I wish you so much success. I'm definitely going to be following you. I gave you a follow. So, yay. Okay. Favor, are you on the phone or is it just the red thing? Oh, never mind. It's gone.
Yeah, I
Go
had
ahead,
to.
Favor.
I had to say to a person I'll call him back later. Yeah, because it's a Friday night and everybody is like, "What's going down? What's going on?" I love that we're in Clubhouse and we're just making sure that we understand these concepts because they're a lot. They are a lot, and yeah, it's something that you should do. I think as a business, this is what I did. So I'll only tell you what I've done. I'm not going to tell you what I've not done. What I did when I launched my business was I went to Quora. I didn't even go to Reddit, but I've now gone to Reddit. But at the beginning, I went to Quora and I answered a question because I looked at my business name and I searched it on Google. This is before even I had my website or anything. I was like, I'm just going to search because anything I do, this is something I do. And if you've heard me before, you probably heard this before. If you ever see anything new or anything updated or anything that I'm talking about, I did research first. This room, I did research first. A blog, I would do research first. Anything that I would work on, I would do research first. So when I do the research, it allows me to Quora. No, not Quora. I'm going to put the link in the chat.
All right, delete mine. I'm so sorry. I think
No,
I
you're
spoke wrong.
fine. No, you're
Yeah, it's a
fine.
Q. You're right. My bad.
No, you're fine. So QUORA.com, Quora. So Quora is just like Reddit, but both great. Reddit is right now is at the top, but I'm just giving you context for what I did. I answered the question about my business in reference to a question that was asked about my business name, but this was like, a very generic question. It wasn't even about the business. It was just a generic question, but I answered the question because I did search first and I searched before I, went on to respond. I did a search and I was like, okay, what do people see when they search for this? And I saw, okay, there was a Quora question. So I answered the Quora question years ago. And that question is still on that, I'll call it a clipboard or on that comment post or however you want to call it, bulletin board. It's there and you just have to answer the question. So when you talked about Reddit, you got me thinking about something and I'm planning to do this, and maybe when you're available, Celeste, we can definitely do this because I know about Ahrefs, but I've also been talking about LLM refs. And this is large language model refs. And they have a thread, let me say it this way. They have a Reddit threads finder. So I put the link in the chat as well. And if you check it out, it's a Reddit threads finder. So if you search for anything, this room is juicy. If you search for anything and you find what you're looking for based on the topic of interest that you want to rank for, knowing that Reddit attributes to at least about, it's up and down, but I would say at least 42% of what AI is giving back to you is sourcing from Reddit. Wikipedia is also there, right? All these authoritative sites, LinkedIn. If you think about Perplexity is Microsoft, Microsoft is LinkedIn, LinkedIn is Bing, Bing is Clarity. Like it's just a whole world wide web. That's why it's called a world wide web. So when you look at all these things interconnected, it's going to the same source. So there's a source and there's a resource. So if you go to LLM refs and check it out, check for the information you're looking for. If you find it, go into that actual Reddit. Don't just say, oh, I found it, Pokemon, catch them all. No, go in there, see it. If you like it, if you understand the concept, if you want to add value to the conversation, create your account. And like Celeste said, put in a comment. Don't say, oh, check my website for more information. No, just be there, be natural. And you can even say your business without having to hyperlink it. Because when you have those semantic texts in those spaces, your account will make sense in the end for you. It's not something that you have to force. So that's something you definitely gotta, look into for sure. So thank you so much for that feedback and question that was asked. Pereira, hope I said the name correctly. Or Pereira, please correct me if I'm wrong. We'd love to hear from you. Welcome to Clubhouse. And we'd love to hear your thoughts, questions, comments, anything you'd like to say. Please feel free. The floor is yours. If you're speaking, hit the bottom right of your screen to turn on the mic. But if not, then let me know in the chat as well. But we've had a very deep conversation today. SEO 101, Podcast 101, Pinterest 101. We've covered them all, and we just want to make sure that it's making sense. Eventually it will, and sometimes it doesn't. But eventually when it does, you'll be able to add the dots and put things together. So it's not hard to do these things. It's just a matter of how to position them and where to place them. So bottom of the line today is, for you to have a successful podcast, you need SEO, you need social media, you need email marketing. It sounds like you need a lot of things, but those things that you need are the very same things that you're going to look for when you need them. When it comes to connecting with people, communicating, having direct communication, whether it's through email, whether it's through social, whether it's through search, whether it's through advertising, these are going to be very important things to factor in. So the choice is yours. You have all these links. I think we've spread too many links today. It's like candy. So it just depends on which one you want to pick, which one you want to work on, and then act on, and then come back and then go back to the drawing board and scale. That way you're able to really know what works for you, because not everything's going to work for you. Some things are going to work, some things are not going to work. But when it doesn't work, try something else. Thomas Edison tried it to the point where we have lights today. So just keep trying, keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. Eventually it will work. And David says it takes SEO, reputation, and brand theater, social storytelling. Yeah, that's true. 100%. Mo says Adobe is buying SEMrush. Yes, for $1.9 billion. It's crazy. There's just a lot going on in the tech world right now. So thank you, Shari. Appreciate you as well. Yeah, we've definitely had a great night tonight, and I know it's getting late for some people, but I want to make sure I respect each and everyone's time. But I'm glad you're able to make it today. I didn't do any sharing. This room is super organic. I didn't post anywhere I didn't even post in my Instagram channel. So for you to be here, it means that you saw this and it made a lot of sense, and I'm hoping that it does, and it will, and it still will. If this helped you, before we go, put a 1 in the chat. Just put a 1 in the chat. I'd love to see it, because I want to make sure that we didn't go into a 201 or 301. This was a 101 that was done well. And if it wasn't, please let me know so that we can do it better next time. Thank you, Unique, David, Mo, Shiko, Picky, Shari. Hey, see how it's rhyming? Hey, it's dope. Thank you so much. I appreciate each and every one of you. Does anyone want to say anything before we go? Thank you for the 1, Shari. I see that too. Mic's up. Tossing the mic up one time.
I will say that it was absolutely amazing to see familiar old faces from when we actually did rooms like this. We're in rooms like this, and Favour, you reminded me of something that I forgot, and that is to double down on myself. Would be this thing I would want to say to you. So thank you. And Mo, I will reach out to you. Xavier too as well. So yeah, I just want to say thank you.
Thank you so much, Shari, for being here. I appreciate you always. Mo, did you want to say something?
Yeah. I just wanted to remind everybody in here that facts tell, the stories sell, right? So make sure in all of your content, even if it's in your SEO, make sure that you weave it in so that it tells a compelling story, right? Because that's how you're going to get the sale. That's how you're going to acquire the follower that turns into a buyer, that turns into a client, that turns into a loyal fan, right? So all of that is interconnected with the stories that you tell. So yeah, you could tell the facts, but like for example, if you have a skincare line and you're telling them that you use all natural organic materials, yeah, that's fine, but so does everybody else. But if you tell them that, hey, our formula is specially designed for easy absorption into the skin, and your significant other is gonna love how smooth and silky it feels when he rubs his hand up and down your legs. That's a whole different story for you. So make sure that you tell the story, as well as the SEO, so it's not dry, corny, and we hit the X button. That's it. So this is Mo Dub, and I'm out.
Appreciate you, Mo Dub. Thank you for that insight. It's true. We got to make sure we can see those things for sure. Thank you for that insight. Tony T says, and this is Tony T's words: "See the people, tell the story." Tony T, thank you so much for that. When I saw that, I started thinking about the alphabetical way. We have 26 letters in the alphabet, the English alphabet, and I see S and then T. So it's moving chronologically, because after the S is the T. So when you see the people, the next thing you do right after that is you tell the story. So that was dope. What's up, Tony?
Favour, I'll share with you where that comes from. So sales is a what game? Fill in the blank. Sales is a numbers game, right?
Money game, yeah.
We hear that all the time. It's a numbers game. But it's also storytelling. And you've got to be a good storyteller. So I've been in the car business a long time ago. So many years ago, people would say to me, it's a numbers game. You got to talk to more people, Tony. The more people you talk to, the more cars you'll sell. And I said, yeah, but it's about telling stories too. And so I came up with the little phrase, see the people, tell the story. The more people you see, the more stories you'll tell, the more cars you'll sell. See the people, tell the story.
That is so true. I resonate with that 100% because it makes more sense. Like, you can talk about the features of the car, how fast it drives, what it looks like, but if you're able to tell the story of how you can, enjoy amazing rides with your family on a road trip, it adds value to the sentimental essence of what you're getting, as opposed to a material gain for something that you're going to maybe use for 3 years or less or more.
A very strong word to use is imagine as you're telling the story. Imagine what your life will look like when you take ownership of this product or service. And as you're telling the story, be sure to evoke their imagination. And the imagination you want them to be thinking about is a better, brighter future. So as you're telling stories, be painting a picture of a better, brighter future for your product or service. Because in reality, that's why people separate themselves from their money, is a better, brighter future.
That is true. This is beautiful. I feel like somebody should definitely listen to this again and again and again and again, because the first time you hear it, that's 5% acquisition. So you got to keep hearing it until you get to 100%. And if you multiply that 5 into 100, you just got to think about it like, technically, you're like, okay, how many times do I have to listen to this over and over to really get it? So I love that you said that, Tony T. Thank you so much for that insight.
And then finally, I'll shut up after this, but before you do anything, before you approach any person for any purpose, is check your heart and ask yourself, is your heart a heart of doing it for them or doing it to them? And if your heart's in a place where you're trying to pull one over on them, you're trying to take advantage of them, you're all about the money, you probably should turn around and walk away and then go back home and reassess your purpose in life.
Tony, I'm okay. Sorry. Sometimes I get a little excited. My emojis wouldn't work anymore, so that's why I had to come off mic. I've taught my son 1,000 times to be authentic. Tell your story, your testimony, be of servitude, and then go with that, because that will then garner further sales. I don't know if anybody saw, but he just turned 18 on Sunday, so like 5 days in. And I've literally listened to him, watched him, see him, bought him 1,000 books, created a business for him in 2023. He created his own in April of this year, and now he's gonna go into high ticket sales. Not gonna lie, don't even know what the hell that means. Because I don't know what that means. So I trust him. I think he has the tools, and I wish he was here right now to hear all y'all, because it kind of like it's like, Mom, I know, like, I don't know if anybody has kids, but like, yeah, I know, Mom, like that typical thing. But I like when people will give him other positive reinforcement, because Mom doesn't know anything. Shout out to Clubhouse, by the way, for the people that I've met. Number one, for the people that have poured into my son over the years, when he was 13, 14, 15, 16, So Tony, I like what you just said, and I quoted you, wrote down all the links that I asked Favour to put in the chat, and he's already got a text message from me. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Shari. Thank you, Tony T. These are great, great words and great things that, we talk about. And, like you said, it goes back to emotion. You have to be authentic. David says you have to be the answer to be the choice. It's as simple as that. It's like, it cannot get even simpler than that, more simpler than that. So thank you so much for that. Tony says as well, read, repeat as well. Thank you, Shiko, for being here too. I know you said it's quite late in some countries like Kenya. Definitely, I'm sure it's late there. That's why I'm like, wow, you're here. Thank you for being here. I'm sure you say it was all worthwhile. I appreciate you. Your time is valuable. Each and every one of you, Shari, Dr. Fashion, Tony T, Unique, Kemi, Picky, Shiko, Deolu, Justice, Rico, Rob, David, M, CJ, Young, Stockberry, all of you are appreciated, and your time is special, and I don't take it for granted that you're here with me, even Sunny too, on a Friday like this, when you could be doing something else. So I'm glad that you're here. If you have any questions or anything you'd like to ask me, please reach out to me as well. And for those who want to get more information through email, the link is above. Click the link above, sign up, and you're going to get emails. And I don't bombard you with emails. I send at least 2 emails a month, at least. And those 2 emails are so spaced out, you wouldn't even realize you got the last one. Because the way I've done it now is I've been sending out emails, and they're very specific. Very specific. And when I send them out, you get them, it's like on steroids. And then when you receive them, you're able to now navigate and know how to learn more about business. Because I've noticed that's why these days with emails, I tread lightly with emails. It's really nice because you're able to really see what people want, and people are still active. Like, I look at my activity. The last email I sent was Veterans Day. It was just a gift, like Happy Veterans Day, and that was it. And that was a couple of weeks ago. Before that was a couple of weeks before that. So if I'm sending out a message, it's very specific. It's just to make sure people are still listening, because the emails I sent before, they've not finished them. It's like a book. You never finish reading a book. If you finish that book today, you're still going to pick it up tomorrow and still read it, because there's some things that you probably didn't see or hear or know because you didn't read them, or it didn't make sense then, because it makes sense now, years later. So same thing with the Bible, same thing with movies, same thing with concepts. So you're able to really understand how that plays a big role into your business. So this 101 was really a 101, and I'm really happy I was able to really bring it and give you some information you could actually use for your business. So thank you for all the ones. Thank you for all the feedback. I'll be back again to give you information like this, so you can actually use this for your business going forward. Dr. Fashion, you've been quiet. I know you're probably busy, but I wanted to reach out to you and see if you wanted to say anything before we go tonight. Dr. Fashion is always doing something amazing. So if she's not in the view, just know something's cooking.
Okay, I'm going to say one last thing before I go. So Favour, just FYI, do you want to know when the last time you and I spoke? You're going to get a kick out of this. November 28th, 2023.
That's, oh my goodness.
Almost 2 years, right? And so when you and I spoke during that time, it was obviously about business, which is how we originally connected. So I happened to look at it, and I got your text, by the way, so thank you. I just thought it was funny because it was almost like in perpetuity, like it's almost like, around like a circle, like and so I just wanted to. I thought you'd get a kick out of that. I thought it was funny. I just wanted to share. Well, thanks to
That's
everybody that put other links in the chat. My apologies. Go ahead.
crazy. It comes back full circle. That's why I'm always talking about these things, because I know eventually it's going to come right back. And you never know. You just never know. You just never know. So that's why I'm like, you may not get it today. You might come back in 2027. You might come back in 2030. If this app is still here, great. If you're still connected, great, But at the same time, I don't want you to think that anything is a waste. Everything is a resource. It's how you value the resource. Somebody can see gold and not care for the gold because they don't know they're looking at gold. Someone else can see water and not think that the water is essential because they don't think about water, yet their body is 70% water. So it's really your perspective, it's your perception, and it's your choice at the end of the day. But the more you know, the better you do things, because you know better, you do better. So really appreciate you for that. And thank you for the links as well. I see in the chat, David. Yeah, please, everyone connect, because you just never know. Business deals have been made on this stage today. So people have connected in the same city. It's a great place to be. So you just never know what's happening. So thank you. Thank you for being here and being part of this amazing conversation. And I look forward to connecting with each and every one of you. If you're here and you came in a little late, please feel free to listen to the replay and we'll connect. I'll be back again tomorrow or Sunday, but before Thanksgiving, definitely Monday, because Monday is going to be 5 years on Clubhouse. So I'm definitely doing something special here in the Marketing Club. So if you're here as a guest, you got a pink ticket, please click the link at the very top that says Marketing Club and join the house so that you can be part of the conversation and we can talk about all this great stuff all day long. So thank you, everyone. Have a blessed night. Happy Friday. And I'm going to see you guys in the room. Black to Glory, man, you came in at the end, like at the end. He's amazing. I'm like, bruh, you just come in at the end. Like those movies, those Marvel movies, after the credits are rolled out, and then it's like,
Right, but
oh, there's
as if
one
his
more.
PTR doesn't even work like that.
Oh
Hi, Black.
man, yeah,
Perfect
man,
time.
you missed it. We've been here for almost, I think, 2 hours, but we'll be back again. I'm turning 5 on Monday on Clubhouse, so I'll be here for sure.
Link me to that one, okay, please? Because I'm like, now I feel like I was gonna go take a nap, and now I'm not because you opened the damn room. So that's okay. I don't mind.
Love everyone so much. Appreciate you for being here. God bless you all. Have a wonderful night and
Likewise.
enjoy your evening. I'm gonna see you guys in the room. And definitely Black to Glory. See you on Monday if you're available. We'll be here for sure. Now that was an episode, right? Thank you so much for listening to the We Don't Play podcast show. I'm so glad that you're here and you are sticking tight with us, especially to the very end. Now, this is season 11 and we're going to do it differently. And I want to make sure that every episode you listen to has something to give back so that you can also learn more after you listen. Now, We Don't Play podcast show is where you listen, you live, you learn, and you earn. So if you're in any of those positions out of those 4, please make sure that you reach out to me. Send out an email through info@playinc.online. That's info@playinc.online. Or you could go to playinc.online, which is a website, www.playinc.online, playinc.online, and schedule a call so that we can get you on an SEO discovery call to talk about your business and help you with your marketing needs. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope this helped you. See you in the next episode. God bless you. Jesus loves you. Bye.